Hello and welcome back to Saturday Recovery with Dr. Nolan of Midwest Movement. This podcast is brought to you by the Bober Academy, where our mission is to train and develop superior linemen to dominate on the gridiron. I'm your host, Chris Bober, 8 years in the NFL. I started games at every position, center, guard, and tackle, and I am out there helping O-linemen get better every day. And just a quick reminder, if you're listening to this podcast, wherever you find your podcast, be sure to click the subscribe button so you get notifications when we drop new episodes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the subscribe button. And anywhere on social media, in the caption, there'll be links to Midwest Movement Elkhorn and our website. Just please give us some comments, give us some retweets, some likes. Show us the love out there so we can keep on spreading the message. So we are a few weeks into the high school football season here in Nebraska, and I'm sure everywhere is very similar. And one of the things that comes up, I go to a lot of high school games. I was down at the Chiefs game last night. Ankle injuries come up all the time, right? We got these big, massive bodies, and then our ankles take so much of the brunt. And you end up with guys, high ankle sprains, low ankle sprains, foot injuries, calf injuries, stuff like that. So Dr. Nolan today is going to show us some things that we can do when you get an ankle sprain, some things to prevent it, and kind of a big deal. You're seeing these pop up right about this time in the season, right, Nolan?
Yep. People are starting to get broken down a little bit, getting a little tired. Ankle injuries are kind of one of those things that, they happen all the time. And hopefully we can show some things that would maybe prevent it. But also hopefully we can show some things that can treat them if you got something going on a little bit.
Well,
Right
let me
now.
ask you a question real quick. Whenever we start out a new sessions or a new class with the Bober Academy, the first thing I do is the first day we do OLine drills on our socks. And we had talked about this back in January in our Building a Lineman series about how our shoes are coffins, right? It's where feet go to
Right.
die because they provide so much stability. Your ankles get weak, they get fatigued, and they get a little frail in there. Would a good recommendation be for to take some time, whether it's daily or weekly, to do some of these drills or exercises without shoes on?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Kind of like what you're saying, we're 3 weeks in. We've been taping our ankles for the last 5 weeks, two-a-days included, all that stuff. We never taped our ankles before. Ankles are starting to get a little weak. We've been in shoes, we've been in cleats all this time. More than likely, we're not walking around our house barefoot or our yard barefoot like we would maybe in the summertime. So yes, all these things are going to be great things that we could do throughout the season, regardless if you have an ankle injury or not. So
Yeah, that's not only to help if you've had an injury, but also a big prevention, right? We're a couple weeks into the season, and now's the time you better take care of this. So you don't want to get to week 7 or 8, getting towards the playoffs, and all of a sudden, because you didn't strengthen your feet muscles and your ankles, you sprain your ankle and
yep,
you can't help your team.
yep. And then this is also if you're wanting to build your squat or any of those type of lifts, this is also really good for that too. So this is stuff I work on just for my fitness routine things too. So
Awesome. Let's see what you got. Show us some
all right.
knowledge about ankles and lower
So
legs.
uh, if you had an ankle sprain last night or earlier this week, or if you were just going through our routine where we went full body and you were doing those ankle rotations where we were drawing the big circles and
Hmm.
you're noticing some of that pain, whether that's in the calf or in the ankle, the first thing that I love to do is just get that foam roller out. We're going to find those spicy nuggets in our calves.
Hmm.
Uh, our calves do a lot of work, and we just want to make sure that we give them a little bit of care. So all we're going to do, 3 or 4 quick passes over the whole calf. Then we're going to find those spicy nuggets, get in there really quick, just short little choppy movements. Maybe you need to roll the ankle or the lower leg in to find those spicy nuggets. We're just going back and forth. We're kind of waking up those calves.
Yeah,
Once
and
we
we're
get,
working on I read Tom Brady's book. Of course, the guy's my age and he's still playing football. He really
yep,
talks about pliability and just getting those muscles loose, not stretching, not strengthening, but pliability to try to get them. And when you don't have that, that's when the injuries start to come up. If you feet are on the ground, you get a problem in your lower leg or ankle, and all of a sudden it's going to manifest itself somewhere higher.
Correct. Yep. And then, okay, with probably 95% of the ankle injuries that we see in office, we are going straight to getting this range of motion in the ankle better. It's called dorsiflexion, but all we're going to do is we're going to do 20 or so reps, just trying to get that knee as far out over the toes as possible, keeping our heel down on the ground or the bench or the chair. And we're just doing like 20 reps, just going back and forth. We're just trying to pattern that movement. And I would say 95% of the time, people, when they have ankle injuries or like pain in this ATFL ligament, we do this range of motion, we retest their tenderness or any of that pain, and it's almost gone. So this motion right here is it's a moneymaker.
Yeah, and for those of you that are listening, all he's doing is he put his foot up on a bench or a chair, and he's just pushing his body weight forward, and he's just trying to stretch out that angle, trying to take your toe towards your knee when you stretch it out, and it's just is getting some range of motion, getting good blood in there.
Yep. And the other thing is we're not letting the knee go inside the foot or outside the foot. We're trying to track the knee right over the toes, like the third toe. Just trying to go straight ahead, getting that range of motion. Okay. Once you got 20 or so of those reps, now this is when we talk about trying to build that foot strength. We're just going to do towel scrunches. So I don't know if you can see this really well, but we're just going to set our toes on a towel, and we're going to try to pull that towel into us. It's really hard on this mat because it's sticky, but the goal is to try to eat up this towel with your toes.
It's like hungry hippo for your feet.
Yep. Just trying to eat up that towel with your toes. Okay. Once you get it all the way in, do it a couple of times. You'll notice that the real intrinsic muscles in our feet are going to start working really well. So we're going to pull those in a couple of times. Okay? Now, this is a very, very simple exercise, but it's really good at getting the arches working. We spend a lot of time on our feet and our arches because they control the ankle. They're the first point of contact. And if we don't work on those, then the ankle won't follow suit, basically. So we call these either our ski jumpers or eating a greasy slice of pizza. So got a greasy slice of pizza. You don't want it to drip on your shirt. So you're going to lean forward, keeping your heels down on the ground. You should feel your arches just gripping the ground. Then you're going to lean back. And you're just going to do like 10, 15 leans, just trying to get those arches to work.
That's an awesome drill for the technique that I teach for run blocking, right? You want to keep your, when you take your zone step, your man step, your lead step, I teach my guys to keep their back foot, keep the entire foot on the ground because that's access to their power. And right there, you're doing exactly what that back foot should be doing when you're run blocking.
Yep. And then, so once you get those, we call this toe yoga. And I'm going to put my feet on the bench so that you can see. And this one might be a little weird for some people, but basically, I'm going to push the big toe into the ground, lift the 4 toes there. Then we're going to lift the big toe. We're just going to go back and forth. Good. Just going back and forth. What it kind of looks like from the side. Lift the other 4. Just lift the big toe. This is a really hard movement, but it's going to work those intrinsic muscles to give more support to that ankle. Okay. And a last thing, and this is probably the weirdest of them all, but we have people hold hands with your feet. Okay. You're going to slide your fingers, interlace them with your toes, Okay. Can you see that pretty good?
Yeah. So basically, you're
Yep.
basically it's like you're holding hands, but you're one hand and one foot.
Yep. So hold hands with your feet and then just draw big figure 8 circles and just getting that motion in the foot. So we said ankle calf soreness, but a lot of it is to do with the feet and then making sure we keep that range of motion in the ankle here and then doing some soft tissue in the calf. Okay. Now, you noticed we were talking about ankle sprains. We did not ever talk about resting the ankle, icing the ankle, compressing the ankle, or elevating it, right? We are talking about getting it moving, getting it loaded, getting tissues moving again, getting blood flow. The old acronym RICE, rest, ice, compress, elevate, is really good for broken bones. But when things are not broken, it's tendon, ligaments, muscle, or just, some banged up. Moving it, getting it loaded is going to be the best option. It's going to create the best recovery, but also make sure that it doesn't re-injure itself later down the road.
Yeah, I mean, what I like what you said. Obviously everyone says throw ice on it and whatnot, and I get it. If your trainers are doing that stuff like that, probably isn't something that you should, kind of go against them and say, I'm not doing this. But I think the point of this really is that in the time between games, practices, and when you're seeing your trainer, these are the kind of things that you could be doing when you get up in the morning. You could be doing them in class. You could be doing them, before practice and after practice and games, stretching. But, you know, it's like 5 minutes, 5 minutes
Yep.
for like a prevention for like, days, weeks, or months of injury prevention, I think is a pretty good trade-off, right?
Yeah. And I know that you could be kind of lost in where or what you should be doing. Should you be doing the whole body injury prevention and all those things? Uh, that routine that we did that first week, that's why we do that routine the first week. You should try to do that. And then if you find one movement inside of that that is a little bit more sore or tender, then you should start doing these breakouts and spend 5 minutes, like you said.
Yeah, and I'll put a
Just,
link if you're watching this video wherever you're watching it. On YouTube. I'll put a link up on top here where you can go back to that. And of course, I'll continue to put that out there because that's such a great thing. So, what you're saying is do the whole body routine, and then these are the things where okay, we have a little bit of soreness in our ankle or our lower leg, so you definitely want to focus on this. I personally think for linemen, your feet are so important. They should be doing this stuff all the time. And
yep,
again, like we talked about, do some of this stuff at home. I mean, you're watching TV every night or doing homework. You're home on carpet. Do some of your pass sets, your run stuff. After you do these drills, do some of those things with your shoes off because like those shoe coffins, they just make you weaker and weaker, and you got to practice this stuff to get your body movement. I promise, if you will do this stuff, you're going to be a much better player and a much healthier player, right?
yep. This is stuff that I wish I knew when I was in high school.
Yeah, we're older, but we're also wiser. Wish we had that
Yeah.
youth and the athleticism that these guys who are watching and listening to this have. So again, Dr. Nolan, thank you so much. There's going to be links to these. If you have any issues or you just have questions, right? MidwestMovementElkhorn.com is the website. He's out there on social media. I'm sure he'd love for you to tag him, ask him a question. You can send the stuff through any of my stuff, and I'll make sure Dr. Nolan gets it. And if you want to see an expert, give them a call, go out and see them. And he loves to get guys back on the field, right?
Yeah. I hate
Awesome.
seeing kids injured.
Yeah, especially if there's prevention. So that'll wrap it up for us. Dr. Nolan, thanks again for all the knowledge that you're sharing with us. I love sharing it. I'm learning so much from it. I wish I knew this back when I was playing. Like these guys are getting this knowledge now. So that wraps it up for us. Again, if you're listening to this podcast, click the subscribe button, subscribe to us on YouTube, send us your comments, send us your feedback, retweet, like, share, all those fun things out there. And we're going to keep on providing great information to help linemen especially, but any athletes out there stay on the field and to be out there competing on Friday nights so that they can have the full experience of sports. So Dr. Nolan, thank you so much. We'll see you again next time. Okay.
Yep. Thank you, Chris, as always. It's
All right, man.
awesome.
Bye-bye.